I welcome you to my channel. Subscribe and listen to my new stories every day. I never thought I would come home to a scene straight out of a nightmare. It was a typical Wednesday, and I had managed to finish work earlier than expected. As I walked toward our front door, I felt a tingle of excitement. Maybe I could surprise Emily with a romantic evening. Perhaps I'd finally convince her to let go of those late-night work calls that seemed to stretch longer each day. But as I inserted the key into the lock, I realized something was off. The key wouldn't turn. I twisted it harder, a bead of sweat forming on my brow. Why was the lock jammed? My heart raced as I leaned my shoulder against the door and pushed, but it wouldn't budge. That's when I heard it, soft moans, echoing through the door, unmistakable and jarring. My stomach dropped, and a cold wave of dread washed over me. Emily. I called, my voice barely a whisper, but no response came. The moaning continued, more intense now, filled with pleasure that felt like a knife twisting in my gut. I felt my anger bubbling, hot and sharp. My mind raced through 1,000 scenarios, but the truth hit me like a freight train. In a fit of rage, I kicked the door. The sound of splintering wood echoed in the hallway, and the door swung open, revealing the chaos inside. My heart sank as I stepped into the dimly lit room. There she was, my wife, half naked, entwined with my so-called friend, Jake. His body hovered over hers, their moans mingling in a symphony of betrayal. I froze, disbelief coursing through me as the scene unfolded in front of my eyes. Emily. I shouted, the name tearing from my throat like a wounded animal. She turned, her eyes wide with shock, but before she could utter a word, I lunged forward, a storm of fury and heartbreak fueling my every move. How could you do this to me? To us? Jake scrambled off Emily, pulling up his pants, embarrassment etched across his face. Dude, he stammered, but I didn't want to hear his excuses. I felt like a volcano ready to erupt, each word they spoke fueling the fire of my anger. Shut up. You think this is a joke? I spat, glaring at him, then turning to Emily, who was scrambling to cover herself with a blanket. How long? How long have you been doing this behind my back? Please, let me explain, she pleaded, her voice trembling, but I couldn't stand the sight of her eyes glistening with tears, her bare skin still flushed from Jake's touch. Explain. What could you possibly say that would justify this? I laughed bitterly, shaking my head. You wanted to surprise me with your infidelity, is that it? Just like you always surprise me with your late nights. Your excuses. Her silence screamed louder than any words could. I took a step back, my heart pounding in my chest. I felt the weight of betrayal pressing down on me, suffocating. Rage boiled beneath my skin, but a part of me was numb, trying to grasp the reality of what I was witnessing. I trusted you, Emily. I fought for you. I yelled, my voice cracking. And this is how you repay me. Jake, still standing there awkwardly, finally decided to speak. We didn't mean for this to happen, man, he tried, but I cut him off. Save it. You're both pathetic. I turned back to Emily, feeling a rush of adrenaline, a sudden clarity. This wasn't just about revenge, it was about regaining control over my life. I'm done. You and I are finished, I said, my voice steady but cold. I'll be filing for divorce. We're through, and I want nothing to do with either of you. Emily's face fell, her expression a mix of anger and hurt, but I couldn't afford to feel sorry for her. The betrayal was too fresh, too raw. Please, don't say that, she cried, desperation creeping into her tone. We can work this out. I love you. Love? Love doesn't look like this. I gestured to Jake and back to her. I don't even recognize you anymore. With that, I turned on my heel and stormed out, slamming the door behind me. My heart raced, my mind spiraling into darkness. I was consumed by thoughts of revenge, a burning need to make them both pay for their betrayal. As I stepped into the cool evening air, I felt a flicker of determination ignite within me. This wasn't the end. It was just the beginning. I would ensure they understood the consequences of their actions, and I would reclaim my life, one calculated step at a time. I slammed the front door behind me, the noise echoing through the hallway like a gunshot. My hands trembled with a mix of anger and disbelief. The reality of what I just witnessed crashes down on me like a tidal wave. Emily, my wife, with Jake, my friend. The betrayal cuts deep, leaving a gaping wound that I know will never fully heal. I pace back and forth in my living room, the familiar surroundings now feeling foreign and suffocating. I can still hear the echoes of their moans ringing in my ears, a haunting reminder of what I lost. I run a hand through my hair, trying to suppress the thoughts racing through my mind. How could they do this? Did they think I wouldn't find out? My phone buzzes on the coffee table, breaking me from my thoughts. I glance down to see a message from Jake. "Dude, let's talk. I'm really sorry about what happened." My heart ignites with fury, and I shoot back a response. "Talk? You think there's anything to talk about? You're a coward. Don't ever contact me again." I toss the phone aside, knowing there's no point in trying to reason with him. He's just as guilty as Emily, and the anger festers inside me, fueling a desire for retribution. I can't just walk away from this, they need to understand the consequences of their actions. A plan begins to form in my mind, a dark, vengeful plan that sends shivers down my spine. I pull out my laptop and sit at the dining table, the screen illuminating my face in the dim light. I type out my thoughts, a list of everything I need to do. Step 1, gather evidence. I can't just go in guns blazing. I need proof of their betrayal, something tangible that I can use against them. Step 2, confront them. I won't let them think they can just sweep this under the rug. They need to see my pain, my anger, and know that I won't be a victim. Step 3, make them pay. I need to find a way to turn their betrayal against them, to expose them for what they are. The plan forms more clearly in my mind, each step more sinister than the last. I can't help but feel a rush of adrenaline at the thought of taking control back from them. I need to act fast before they have a chance to fix things. As I sit there, lost in my thoughts, my phone buzzes again. This time it's Emily. "Please, can we talk? I want to explain everything." A bitter laugh escapes my lips. Explain? What could she possibly say that would justify what she did? I ignore the message, but my anger only grows. I want to confront her, to make her face what she's done. But I know I have to be smart about it. I can't let my emotions blind me. I glance at the clock. It's still early, they're likely still at home. I can't just sit here waiting. I decide to go for a drive, clear my head, and figure out my next move. I grab my keys and head out the door, the cool night air hitting my face like a slap. I drive aimlessly through the city, each passing streetlight flickering like the thoughts in my head. My mind races, replaying the scene I walked in on, imagining their faces, the betrayal etched on them. Suddenly, I get an idea. I can turn this whole situation to my advantage. I pull out my phone and start scrolling through social media, looking for any dirt on Jake. He loves to flaunt his perfect life, but I know there's more beneath the surface. I remember overhearing conversations about his questionable dealings at work, and the thought makes me grin. "Let's see how you like it when your dirty laundry is aired," I mutter to myself as I snap screenshots of posts, comments, and anything that could be useful. As I drive past Jake's apartment complex, I slow down. I can't help but wonder if I should pay him a visit. I pull into a nearby parking lot and sit there, contemplating my options. I know I should let this go and focus on my own life, but the fire of revenge burns too hot to ignore. With a deep breath, I grab my phone and send a message to Emily. "I'm coming over. You better be alone." I hit send, my heart racing at the thought of facing her again. I don't even know what I'll say or do, but I know I have to confront her. I need her to feel the weight of her betrayal. As I pull into her apartment complex, the familiar anxiety creeps back in, but it's mixed with a sense of determination. I park and take a moment to gather my thoughts. This is it. I'm going to make her understand the gravity of her actions. I stride toward the entrance, each step fueled by anger and a desire for justice. The door swings open, and I step into the lobby, my heart pounding in my chest. I can feel the tension crackling in the air around me. I walk down the hallway, my mind racing with thoughts of revenge. I reach her door and take a deep breath, raising my hand to knock. But then I pause, listening intently. There's silence on the other side. Emily. I call, my voice echoing in the quiet. Nothing. My heart sinks, a mixture of dread and anticipation coursing through me. I knock again, harder this time. Open the door. Moments later, I hear the sound of shuffling feet, and my heart races. This is it. The confrontation I've been waiting for. The door creaks open, revealing Emily, her eyes wide with surprise and fear. What are you doing here? I step inside, shutting the door behind me with a decisive click. We need to talk. Her expression shifts, and I can see her panic rising. I told you I wanted to explain. Explain? Explain what? I interrupt, the anger boiling over. Explain how you thought it was okay to betray me with Jake. Explain how you thought I wouldn't find out. Her eyes dart around, searching for a way to calm me, but there's no way to escape this confrontation. I didn't mean for it to happen, she stammers, but I can already see the cracks in her facade. Spare me the excuses, Emily. I deserve better than this, I snap, stepping closer, my voice low and dangerous. As we stand there, the tension thick in the air, I realize this is just the beginning. My plan is in motion, and I won't stop until they both pay for their betrayal. The air is electric between us, charged with the weight of unspoken truths and simmering rage. Emily stands there, her arms crossed defensively, but I can see the uncertainty in her eyes. The woman who once felt like home now feels like a stranger, and I can barely contain my anger. What do you want me to say? She finally asks, her voice trembling. I made a mistake. I never meant for it to go this far. Not just a mistake, Emily, I reply, my tone icy. You chose to betray me. You actively sought out Jake, and you didn't care about the consequences. Please, she pleads, her voice breaking. I was lonely. You were always working late, and I felt abandoned. Lonely? I scoff, shaking my head. That's your excuse. You couldn't come to me and talk about it. Instead, you decided to jump into bed with my friend? She flinches at my words, and I see the guilt wash over her face. But it's not enough. I need her to feel the weight of what she's done. I need you to understand that this isn't just about you, I continue, stepping closer. You've shattered our life together, and I refuse to let you sweep it under the rug like it didn't happen. Her eyes well up with tears, and I can tell she's struggling to maintain her composure. I'm so sorry, she whispers. I'll do anything to make it right. Please, just give me a chance. Make it right? I laugh bitterly. You think saying sorry is enough? Do you think that's going to fix what you've done? I'll end it with Jake. I promise, she insists, her desperation palpable. I'll do whatever it takes to make this work. Make what work? I retort, disbelief in my voice. How can we ever go back to what we had? You've destroyed everything, Emily. As I pace the room, I can feel the rage simmering just beneath the surface. I want to lash out, to make her feel my pain, but I know I need to stay focused. I can't let my emotions dictate my actions, not when I have a plan brewing in the back of my mind. You have to know that I've been talking to Jake about our marriage, she says suddenly, her voice low and trembling. He's been telling me things, convincing me that I deserved better. I stop, my heart pounding. What do you mean? You've been talking to him? What else did he say? Just, that I should be happy, she replies, avoiding my gaze. He made me question everything. He said you didn't care about me. Of course, he would say that, I spit, feeling the heat rise within me. Jake has wanted to be with you for a long time, hasn't he? This wasn't just a random encounter, this was premeditated. Emily's eyes dart around the room, as if she's searching for a way to escape the conversation. I didn't mean for it to happen. I swear I thought it was just flirting. It got out of hand, she insists. Out of hand? I echo, incredulity mixing with my anger. You don't just get carried away while cheating on your husband with your friend. You made a choice, Emily. A conscious decision to betray me. I know, she cries, her voice rising in panic. I know. And I hate myself for it. I don't know how to fix this, but I want to try. I'll tell him it's over, I swear. You think that will fix it? Just like that? I scoff, stepping back to put some distance between us. You have no idea how deep the wound is. The trust is shattered, and you expect me to just forget? I can do better. I promise I'll change, she pleads, her hands clasped together as if she's praying. Change? I repeat, my tone dripping with sarcasm. You think I'm going to believe anything you say after this? How can I trust anything that comes out of your mouth? Emily's face crumples, tears spilling down her cheeks. Please, just give me a chance to prove it, she begs. I don't want to lose you. I love you. Her words hang in the air, heavy with desperation. But the truth is, love feels so distant now. All I see is the betrayal etched across her face. Love? You've thrown that word around like it means nothing, I retort, my voice cold. You don't love someone and betray them. You're either with someone or you're not. You chose to be with him. I know I messed up, she says, her voice cracking. But I want to fix this. I'll do whatever it takes. The anger bubbles within me, threatening to boil over. I take a deep breath, trying to maintain control. You think I'm going to believe that after what you did? Just then, my phone buzzes in my pocket. I pull it out to see a message from Jake. Where are you? We need to talk. Speak of the devil, I mutter under my breath, my eyes narrowing at Emily. You've got to be kidding me. Don't answer it, she says quickly, her voice filled with urgency. You don't need to talk to him. Oh, I think I do, I reply, my heart racing. I'm not done with this confrontation yet, and I can't let them think they can just walk away from this unscathed. As I type a quick response, I can feel Emily's anxiety rising. What are you going to say? She asks, her voice trembling. Let's just say I'm going to give Jake a chance to explain himself, I say, a dark smile creeping across my face. I hit send, and almost immediately, my phone buzzes again. I'll be there in 10. You can't let him come here. Emily protests, panic evident in her voice. You need to think this through. Oh, I am thinking this through, I reply, my voice steady. And you need to see this through as well. You need to face him. The three of us need to talk. Emily's eyes widen in fear, but I don't care. The storm is coming, and I intend to make sure they both understand the gravity of their choices. Get ready, Emily, I say, my voice low and ominous. You're about to see the consequences of your betrayal. And with that, I prepare myself for the confrontation ahead. Jake's arrival is imminent, and I can feel the tension in the air, thick and suffocating. I will make them both understand that actions have consequences, and this betrayal will not go unanswered. The seconds tick by like hours as I wait for Jake to arrive. I can feel the tension in the room as Emily stands across from me, her eyes darting nervously to the door, her hands wringing together in anxiety. I can tell she knows what's coming, and that realization brings a dark satisfaction to my heart. Please, just let me explain before he gets here, she pleads, her voice cracking. I'll do whatever it takes to fix this. Fix what, Emily? I reply, my voice low and steady. You can't fix betrayal. You've shattered any chance we had. Just then, the sound of footsteps echoes in the hallway, and I straighten, the anticipation coursing through me. It's time, I say, my heart racing. The door swings open, and Jake walks in, his expression shifting from confusion to shock as he takes in the scene before him. What the hell is going on? He demands, glancing back and forth between us. Just the man I wanted to see, I say, a cruel smile creeping onto my face. We were just discussing your little affair with my wife. Jake's eyes widen in disbelief. What are you talking about? This isn't. Oh, spare me the act, I cut him off, my voice sharp. You think I didn't see you two together? You think I wouldn't find out? Emily looks between us, her expression a mixture of fear and regret. Jake, please, just tell him the truth, she begs, but I can see that her words have little effect on him. Jake's bravado returns as he crosses his arms. You're being ridiculous. I didn't mean for it to happen. We were just friends. Friends? I laugh bitterly. Is that what you call it? You've been lying to me this entire time. Emily's expression shifts as the tension in the room thickens. We were wrong, Jake. We need to stop this, she says, her voice shaky. Stop what? He asks, incredulous. This is what you wanted. Don't pretend you're the victim here. I step closer to Jake, my anger boiling over. You think you can just waltz in here and act like nothing happened? You need to pay for what you did. Pay? Jake scoffs, raising an eyebrow. What are you going to do? You can't just threaten me. I take a deep breath, allowing the anger to simmer beneath the surface. You're right. I can't just threaten you. Before he has a chance to react, I reach into my pocket and pull out my phone. But I can expose you. I've gathered everything I need to ruin your life. His eyes narrow as he realizes I mean business. What the hell are you talking about? I start scrolling through the photos and messages I collected, revealing the truth behind Jake's double life, his questionable dealings at work, his infidelity with other women, all backed up by screenshots and evidence. You think your life is perfect? You think I won't destroy you? Emily gasps, her eyes wide with shock. No, please don't do this. I ignore her, focusing on Jake. You can try to spin this however you want, but the truth is, you're nothing more than a coward hiding behind a mask. Jake's bravado falters as he takes a step back. You wouldn't. You can't. Oh, but I can, I say, my voice cold as ice. You're not going to walk away from this unscathed. You made your bed, and now you'll lie in it. Emily steps forward, desperation etched across her face. Please, don't do this. You're only making things worse. Worse? This is nothing compared to what you've done, I snap, turning my gaze back to her. You think this is going to magically fix itself? You've both betrayed me in the worst possible way. Jake stares at me, the confidence draining from his face as he realizes I'm serious. You're sick. You're going to ruin lives over a mistake. Not just a mistake, Jake. This is treachery. As I continue to pull up the evidence on my phone, I can feel the weight of their betrayal crashing down around us. I know I'm crossing a line, but the thought of them escaping the consequences sends a surge of satisfaction through me. Enough. Emily cries, her voice breaking. This isn't who you are. You're better than this. Better than what? Better than making you both face the reality of your actions. I counter, feeling the anger boiling within me. You've shown me who you really are, and now you'll see the consequences. Just then, my phone buzzes again, and I receive a message from my contact at work. I've got what you need. Meet me tonight. I glance up at Emily and Jake, their faces twisted in fear and regret. This isn't over, I say, my voice low and menacing. I have the power to ruin both of your lives, and I plan to use it. With that, I turn on my heel and stride toward the door, leaving them behind. As I step into the cool night air, I feel the rush of adrenaline course through me. The sense of control washes over me like a wave, and I know I've made the right choice. But as I drive away, I can't shake the feeling of emptiness that settles in my gut. I've succeeded in my plan for revenge, but at what cost? I can't help but wonder if I've become the very monster I sought to destroy. That night, I meet with my contact, handing over all the evidence I've gathered. I can feel the weight of the betrayal pulling me down, and I realize that this path will lead to destruction, not just for them, but for me as well. As the sun rises the next morning, I can't shake the feeling that I've crossed an irreversible line. I've ruined their lives, but in doing so, I've also shattered my own. The pain of betrayal lingers, and I realize that revenge may feel satisfying in the moment, but the emptiness that follows is far worse. Emily and Jake are left to pick up the pieces of their shattered lives, while I'm left with the haunting realization that betrayal comes at a cost. In the end, we've all lost something: trust, love, and the possibility of happiness. And as I drive away from the wreckage of what was once my life, I can't help but feel the weight of my choices. The darkness of betrayal and retribution will linger long after the dust has settled, a constant reminder of the price of deception.